I am a little late, but welcome back, guys. We got our new studio here. We're finally live again, and the roadmap roundup dropped while I was unaware. I was not paying attention, but now we can go over it. First updates here. Release view. Alpha 4.7 is getting itself the Mist Hull B. We're going to be jumping into that live today to go play it. It should be fun. It looks like a fun ship. Looks like a beautiful ship. Looks like the epitome of what a cargo hauler in Star Citizen should be. I cannot wait to check this thing out today. We're also seeing the Grey Cat UTV come in. This is a bit of, I want to say out of left field, but not entirely. The last monthly report basically said that it was going to come out. It just didn't specify when. And they were talking about the Hull B as if the Hull B was like definitely coming that week. I think they said here, yeah. Let's see, yeah, it went through final gate, and then they kind of talked about it as if it was going to be on inside or behind the ships. So you're like, oh, this is definitely coming out. But then the UTV, they were like, it wrapped up testing and it's awaiting its release into the PU. And you're like, okay, well, that's ready, but they're not talking about it. So I didn't know how that was going to work, but they brought it out. It's in the game, 1 SCU, 2 people, no life support. I think it's going to be a great little vehicle for running little missions here and there, getting in the bunkers, and most importantly, when Starkitect comes online later this year, we're probably going to have a lot more missions that require us to go back and forth between local outposts, little wells, power supply, stuff like that. Doing little fixes and such, and I think having a little vehicle to make those drives will be better. Now, the interesting part. Alpha 4.8 is our next patch, and it should be landing in May. This patch is going to be focused on a couple different crucial things. Refueling being probably the biggest, but also the strike groups, which they talked about in today's update. So we'll touch on that here. First up, tactical strike groups implementing a new cooperative ship combat experience featuring a series of objectives and challenges designed for a multi-role fleet. Players are encouraged to bring a diverse lineup, equip the right loadouts, and be ready to refuel and resupply both ships and FPS players on site to succeed. I think this might be a little problematic. If they don't bring in social tools, it's gonna be hefty. I'm gonna give you a little preview of what this is supposed to be.
Now they've reached out to Intersec, who've reached out to you to help recover the pilot. Of course, it's unwise to do this alone, so you'll need to put a team together to attack the station.
When you arrive, you will have this big asteroid, kind of broken asteroid, and on this you will have this space where you will find 3 big arms. You will see in the middle, you will have this big energy core. Everything here has a purpose. It's not just for the show, just something nice to see.
You'll see a People's Alliance-owned Idris that's just on the outside, and it's going to be getting harassed by this unknown faction that you've met before.
So your first objective here is to clear out the ships. There'll be waves of these ships, so this is where you want your light or your medium or your heavy fighters, whichever playstyle you prefer.
So while one part of your group is dealing with the fighters, now it's time to actually assault the station.
This station has been outfitted to resist all of the obvious way of attacks.
Somehow they've incorporated Vanduul capital ship killing turrets. These turrets ignore small fighters, and they have the firepower to destroy even the biggest capital ships.
They say it's going to resist all the attacks, but have they thought about our pad ramming abilities? So this it's a fleet battle, right? And they're kind of setting it up to be like that. You have to take out turrets with certain types of ships. You have to bring in bombers. Eventually, you have to get fighters to come in and do like a sort of a trench run, which seems like the main thing they're setting up.
There's 3 arms to the station that have these trenches. You'll fly into one, and then there'll be a core in the center, and then you'll move out another trench.
You're either gonna do it multiple times, or you need to bring friends.
And then they've got like civilian evac, which I think they've still been a little bit unclear about if we're evacing them or not.
So while the fighters are protecting the Idris, what's happening at the station? Well, that's where the dropships come in.
Now you've got to take a fire team in. You've got to land, you've got to fight through an onslaught of FPS enemies that belong to this unknown faction, and you've got to open a hangar door which will allow you to release captives from the station.
I still think that they're not going to actually have us fly them out. So this is the whole idea. You can kind of see how it's setting up. This is a fleet battle. This is the first really, truly large scale thing they've added to Star Citizen. And the goal, as they've said here, is to develop a multi-role fleet. But honestly, if they put this out for questions on Star Citizen Live, I was telling Tree on the podcast today, I'm going to go in there and ask them, how do you guys want us to coordinate between ourselves in this fleet? So I feel like a company developing an MMO probably should have their own first-party solution for this. And it's just not great to be like, yeah, just go use Discord. But I do feel like that's going to be the reality. I really hope that they've got some kind of small update that just allows us to talk to each other. It doesn't have to be anything too complicated. Just make the support work a little bit better so we can communicate, I hope. But we'll see. Either way, this is going to be the main content drop for 4.8. This is going to be where most of their focus is put. It's probably going to be what the trailer is focused around. A lot of their marketing will be here. And likely, I think Tree also brought this up on the podcast as a great point. This is likely going to be somewhat used as a crossover event between Squadron 42 and Star Citizen to help kind of get people a little more interested in what the assets of Squadron 42. With that are coming some new space stations they call QV extraction stations. Located in the Nix system, the QV extraction stations provide key infrastructure for the new Tactical Strike Group's content. So this is just like the Rockcracker stations. They are new locations being brought in, but they are being used specifically for something right now. Guaranteed these will be used for other types of missions and content in the future too. This is just more diversification. It's easy to miss that they are adding in different types of space stations over time, and eventually they'll be able to start mixing and matching them to hopefully give more diversity to different star systems. New hairstyles. We're getting new hairstyles every patch, dude. Like, I think this is the most consistent addition to the game at this point. Oh, not in 4.6. Wrong as me. 4.4, 4.5, and 4.7 we did though. 4.8 also planned. And you could probably say 4.3, 4.2, and 4.1 had them too. Basically, what we're seeing from this system is they got their tool done. You know, the whole, oh, it's the tools. They're building tools, the floodgates. It was a popular thing to say for a while. And now they're actually starting to get them in game. And honestly, because they're doing that, it's getting them more results more quickly. We certainly weren't getting character customization additions every single patch for a while. There's 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, none in 4.6, but 4.7 and 4.8. So as they finish these tools out, they are able to expand the content that comes from them more quickly. I do think this is going to happen for fauna. It seems like they're getting around to the point where their team who is working on fauna and animals is on a grind. They've got their team together, Star Paws, their whole thing, to create animals for us to use for resources and also just kind of hunt and fight. Also, it seems like the weapons team is on this too. And I know they're working on subsumption for AI and missions. So just in general, I'm not going to say they're floodgates, but they're definitely getting to a point where content can be more delivered more reliably, more regularly. Next thing that's up on the list here is space combat missions. Defend location, adding missions where players are now defending a location's fuel tanks from NPC attackers. This includes a standalone mission and a compounding one, where players will have multiple conflicting priorities to complete. I love it when it's not a straightforward defend mission, but I do hope that there's... What I don't like about Star Citizen, they do a lot of these missions where like people, they send you to a location and then they're like, okay, you better defend those people or you better be ready for these attackers. And then you kind of sit there and wait. It feels kind of unnatural. It doesn't feel like you're stepping into an actual situation. I'm hoping with these, when you jump to the location, they literally are just like, already attacking the fuel stations, you have to jump in and stop it. I don't want it to be like in the bunkers. You know how they send you to defend the location in the bunkers, and you get there and it's like, okay, now wait for the waves to start. You're like, all right, that's a little anticlimactic. So hopefully they do fix that. Nice to see some more missions coming in. Of course, they're combat, so I'm guessing it's probably going to annoy quite a few people, but it is more content. Last up here is the Plasma Grenade, implementing Castech Arms Area Denial Grenade, prime and throw to lock down an area and prevent enemies from pushing through. No idea what Plasma is going to look like in this game. Interesting that it is a area denial grenade. I wonder if it's like a persistent effect or something. I am not really sure what exactly that's going to play like. They've talked about these kinds of things sometimes in the past. FPS gadgets and throwables and deployables have been a topic for a long time. They just never really got around to actually delivering them. I think we can probably find the spot in here where they did discuss this. Nope, there's no transcript. I hate it when they do that. Let me see if anybody had these.
Any progress on gadgets like trip sensors, scanners, remote detonated charges, and so on?
So I've got an answer, and it has the word Squadron 42 in, so I'm going to read it off the page. Currently, we have the deployable shield, breaching charge, and some other bits in Squadron 42, and do plan on shipping that in the PU in the future. We also have an area denial grenade coming this year as well. We plan to add more gadgets in the future, and we do like doing some surprise community wants, like the binoculars, which are much asked for.
That's cool.
So yeah, not much there about the specific grenade, but something else to keep from this is many of you who have been around for a long time know that it's a common joke to just be like, oh yeah, CIG said they're working on something. We'll see it in 2 years. But over the last 2 years, I think they've gotten a lot better at talking about things that are actually in development and imminent. So it's nice to see them talk about something like a area denial grenade in March 12th. And then to see it pop up on the roadmap for the next update on April 8th. Just feels like we're all a little bit more connected to the actual game and not just following along on developmental stories. Which I personally did enjoy, but you know, it's not ideal when you're looking to play a video game. So that is the roadmap roundup so far. That's what you can expect for 4.8 going forward. We still do have probably at least 4 more weeks, if not 5, before that patch goes live. So they might still add some more features into the expectations. Obviously, the transport system is going on. That's been Evo Kadi tested. Refueling improvements are going to happen. I think there's probably a lot more to learn about that as it comes. Flight Suit G-Force Resistance is the first real step of Starware we've seen come into the game with the new stats. Obviously, refueling and rearming stuff within ships is pretty cool. The command module, the Ironclad will be coming in that patch as well. The Hammerhead Gold Standard, and likely whatever that secret Hammerhead-related ship is with a laser beam, so they say. The Ultiflex Crossbow. There's a little look at the Plasma Grenade. And then, very importantly, do not forget, there is an Origin ship that they have been oh, you guys can't see this. Chat's in the way. Well, don't forget, there is an Origin ship that they have also been talking about bringing into the game, I think, in February, I believe. Jared said it was going to be coming in the next 3 months or so. So there is possibly also an Origin ship coming in May. We'll have to see. That is your roadmap update for 4.8. What's going on in May? I'll be back with you when we get some more information.